Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here with a quick little tidbit of Power Rangers news and discussion based on some news that came out in the last day. It kind of hits a lot of the same points I just talked about in a video I made about why Dino Fury probably isn't the last season, but it was news from a Europe Licensing Expo where Hasbro answered a few questions and gave a few statements about the future of Power Rangers that basically amounted to, I'll give kind of a little, summary of what they said, and then I'll read a couple little exact excerpts. But they basically said, Dino Fury is on the horizon, we're all excited for it, meaning, boilerplate stuff, like we're excited for it, the fans are excited for it, the type of stuff companies usually say, but Dino Fury is on the horizon, and then partnering with E1, they're looking at multiple different avenues for the franchise, but they're not ready to say it yet, but as we get into next year, it'll become more clear. But let me read a couple of the exact sentences just so I can give you some exact stuff. But he said that they're exploring all different forms of content for Power Rangers, including theatrical, streaming, as well as animation. And then, there was a follow-up that said it's just too early to announce what the roadmap is, but as we get into next year, we'll get some clarity on the ideation of Power Rangers. On the next ideation of Power Rangers, excuse me. And those are just a couple excerpts from it. But, basically that's just what I said, but just so you can kind of hear it straight from, or secondhand from the horse's mouth, but you know what I mean. But for me, I feel like this is causing, yet again, more panic in the fandom, and I just made a video about why I don't think we need to be worried about Power Rangers being canceled or whatever after Dino Fury. And for me, this has all just been good news because I feel like we've been in such a purgatory, and for me, all this shows me is that Hasbro is looking at doing things differently and branching out in different ways. And the fact that they said they're looking at multiple different things and they have multiple projects going, there was another quote that said about they have different projects going. So that could mean we can have multiple different shows or type things on the horizon. Like some could be coming within the year after Dino Fury. Some could be happening the same year. Some could be happening in 5 years. And I think that's exciting. I mean, everyone's really, anxious about the idea of it being animated, and they think, oh, if we go animated, I think people are just picturing like an MMPR, Play School Heroes type show. I mean, maybe we'll get that, but that probably wouldn't be the only thing we got for all time. And, maybe they are going to do an MMPR show that looks kiddie, but maybe it'll be better than you think. I mean, we can't get much worse than right now. Its maturity level at this moment is basically the Nick Jr. group. That's what it is now. So people are acting like that's not where we're already at. I mean, there's a good handful of shows, especially animated, that you might look at and think, oh, that's targeted for the 2 to 5 year olds that they keep talking about. The Power Rangers is targeted to. But then you watch it, and it makes Power Rangers look embarrassing with some of its jokes. I mean, I'll probably get some heat for saying this one, but look at Teen Titans Go, which still has a ridiculous amount of hatred at it for not being Teen Titans. And it is aimed more towards a younger audience, and I'm not saying it's the best show ever, but I've watched a handful of episodes and I was like legit surprised at the amount of smart jokes in it. It has dumb jokes too, but a lot of smart jokes that go over kids' heads that makes Power Rangers look like silly putty, with their jokes are literally silly putty. So I think it's too early to panic, especially since they even said it's too early to talk about the roadmap. And we don't know exactly what that's going to mean. I think it's a decent possibility we'll get animated, but I think the fact that they mentioned multiple different avenues is also a good sign. So even if they announce we're doing something animated right after Dino Fury, that doesn't mean that's it. That's all we're getting forever, the movie and then a Play School Heroes show or something like that. I think that there's going to be multiple things on the horizon. For all we know, they could want to keep something live action in the works, as well as an animated show along the lines of an MMPR thing, and then maybe they would do like some animated specials, like when they put up the Transformers ones that would be more geared towards the older fans. Like, we don't know. Like, for me though, this is all exciting. I like the idea that there might be multiple projects in the works and that they're looking at it from multiple different avenues, because we've just been stuck in this purgatory. And not to mention they have the movie happening. I mean, obviously right now everything's kind of slowed down because of the world situation, but fortunately Power Rangers wasn't like in filming or anything, so filming didn't get delayed or anything. They're kind of in the ideal position because most of the work they're doing can be done, safely. They can do all the pre-planning and stuff, and so that's we're not in a bad situation with that. So I don't know, guys. I just want to advise you, as I did in that video, which I'm sure I'll link here somewhere, to not panic too much about this. We still don't know what it means. I think that this is encouraging news that Hasbro wants the brand to continue, and this could mean multiple different things, and just not to immediately think it's going to be the end of the Power Rangers Part 3. But until next time, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can just my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.